Let's be honest, we've all been there. You've got interested prospects who seem genuinely excited about what you're offering, but then nothing happens. They disappear or keep saying, "I'll think about it," and you're left wondering what went wrong. I spent years struggling with this exact problem in my own business before I finally cracked the code. The truth is, people don't buy for very specific reasons, and once you understand these reasons, you can address them head-on. So grab a coffee, and let's talk about why your prospects aren't buying, and what you can do about it. 1. I don't see the problem. When they don't recognize the need, think about the last time you bought something that solved a problem you didn't know you had. Pretty rare, right? Many of your prospects are living with pain points they've normalized. That ergonomic chair might seem like an obvious purchase to you, but your prospect has been sitting uncomfortably for years and just considers it normal. Try this instead. Tell stories they can see themselves in. You know that twinge in your lower back around 2 p.m.? That's not actually normal. Ask questions that make them think, how many hours do you spend in your office chair every week? And how many years will you be working? Let them experience the difference. Instead of explaining why your solution is better, let them try it. The gap between what they have and what they could have becomes immediately apparent. I remember working with a company that sells workplace wellness programs. Instead of trying to convince HR directors they needed the program, they created a simple workplace wellness quiz for employees. When directors saw that 78% of their team was experiencing preventable workplace stress, suddenly they couldn't sign up fast enough. 2. I can deal with this later. When there's no urgency, we humans are masters of procrastination. Even when we recognize a problem, we often convince ourselves it can wait. I had a client who needed accounting software for 3 years before they finally purchased it. Why? Because they kept telling themselves tax season is still months away, or our current system is painful but functional. Try this instead. Be specific about what waiting costs. Don't just say, "You're losing money." Say, "Our average customer discovers they've been leaving $200 on the table every month." Create natural deadlines. We're raising prices on April 1st, or the next training cohort starts in 2 weeks and then we won't open enrollment again until September. Connect to their calendar. You mentioned Q4 is your busiest season. If we implement this in August, you'll be fully operational before the rush begins. 3. I'm not sure I believe you. When trust is missing in a world full of exaggerated marketing claims, skepticism is the default for most buyers. And honestly, can you blame them? Try this instead. Show, don't tell. Instead of claiming our software saves time, share that Sarah from Acme Corp reduced her weekly reporting time from 5 hours to 30 minutes, and here's a video of her explaining how. Be transparent about limitations. Nothing builds trust faster than honesty about what your product doesn't do well. Reduce their risk. Try it for 30 days, and if you don't love it, we'll refund you completely and even help you transition back to your old system. A friend of mine sells high-end coaching programs. He was struggling with conversions until he started doing free strategy sessions, where he would genuinely help prospects solve a problem, regardless of whether they bought. His close rate tripled because people experienced his expertise firsthand. 4. I can't afford this right now. When money is the barrier. When someone says they can't afford something, what they're often really saying is, "I'm not convinced the value exceeds the cost." Try this instead. Break it down. $1,000 sounds like a lot, but that's $2.74 a day, less than your morning coffee, for something that saves you 5 hours every week. Focus on what it makes possible. This $500 course isn't an expense. It's what allows you to raise your rates by $50 an hour, paying for itself after just 10 client hours. Offer flexible options. We have monthly payment plans, and many clients find they're able to cover the monthly cost with the immediate benefits they receive. 5. I'll do it eventually. When they keep procrastinating. Sometimes prospects are just stuck in inertia. They intend to buy, but never quite get around to it. Try this instead. Make the next step tiny. Don't ask them to commit to the whole purchase. Just ask them to take the smallest possible next step. Create a personal connection. I've reserved 15 minutes on Thursday to personally help you get set up. Does 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. work better? Use gentle, persistent follow-up. I know you mentioned wanting to start this before your busy season. We're about 6 weeks out, so I wanted to check in on your timeline. One of my clients sells home renovation services. They found that leads would get estimates and then disappear for months. Now they follow up with an email sharing 3 quick projects you could start this weekend while you're planning your bigger renovation. This keeps prospects engaged while they're making their larger decision. 6. This feels off for me. When there's no alignment. Sometimes your solution is great, but it doesn't feel tailored to your prospect's specific situation. Try this instead. Speak their language. If you're selling to lawyers, reference depositions and billable hours, not general business terms. Create buyer-specific pathways. It looks like you're in healthcare. Here's how other hospitals are using our software to comply with HIPAA regulations. Accommodate their unique needs. I understand your team uses Mac, not Windows. We have a specialized onboarding process for Mac-based companies to ensure a smooth transition. Bringing it all together. The beautiful thing about addressing these 6 objections is that you're not tricking anyone into buying. You're actually removing the barriers that prevent people from solving their problems with your solution. Remember, people want to make good decisions. Your job is to help them see why working with you is exactly that. What's your biggest challenge in converting prospects? Is it building trust? Creating urgency? Something else entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, pass it along to a fellow business owner who might be wondering why their amazing offering isn't selling as well as it should. How to convert non-buyers into buyers.